the most important concept of anxiety in general, when treating anxiety in general? Babies? Well, no. This is a picture of babies. Aren't they cute? Don't think about babies. If you're like most people, you're still thinking about babies, right? How many of you are familiar with this white bear research? Daniel Wegner showed a group of people a picture of a white bear, and he told them, don't think about the white bear. He took another group of people and showed them the same picture, the same white bear, and he told them it's okay to think about the white bear. 10 minutes later, he had people write a stream of consciousness. Those who were told not to think about the white bear were significantly more likely to be thinking about the white bear than the people who were told it was okay to think about the white bear. Then he did a follow-up study, and he asked people what they worry about. So if I asked you what you worried about and you said you worry about your family, and I asked you what you worry about and you said you worry about money, and I told him, don't think about money. 10 minutes later, not only would he be more likely to be worrying about money than she would be to be worrying about her family, that difference would be even greater, he found, than with the neutral white bear. And what's the most common advice that people get when they worry?
Don't worry.
Don't worry. So we now know that that makes people more likely to worry. It's terrible advice. If you don't want it, you will. I suppose you're thinking that the opposite is true, and if you're willing to have it, you won't. And you're right about that. So if you're suffering from anxiety, you might be thinking, well, if I'm willing to have anxiety, means I won't have anxiety, well, then I'm willing to have anxiety. But if the only reason you're willing to have anxiety is to not have anxiety, then you're not really willing to have anxiety, and it's not going to work. So that's the pitfall. The pitfall of trying to push anxiety away and similarly trying to relax.
I tossed and turned all night. I was getting 2 to 2.5 hours of sleep, 4 nights in a row. On the 5th night, I'd finally crash. I was in grad school. Surprise, surprise. I was about to begin my first practicum. And I was thinking about how these poor people were going to be coming to me with real problems when they could see a more seasoned therapist. I tried everything to sleep. I tried tryptophan, melatonin, over-the-counter sleep aids, relaxation strategies, mindfulness. I tried wearing myself out. Nothing worked. I just kept fighting it and fighting it. Did I have a sleep disorder? No. What was it? What was the problem? It was worry. In fact, when I let go of the worry about what kind of job I was doing, because I realized that I was actually pretty good at this, then I was worried about not getting enough sleep. So 95% or more of people say that they worry. How does worry affect you? Does it affect your stomach, your gut? We have more serotonin receptors in our GI system than we have in our brain. Or maybe you have a hard time concentrating. You can't study or read. Or maybe you avoid doing things that you'd love to be able to do because you're afraid that they're not going to turn out well. So in summary, fighting worry and anxiety fuels it. It's not that we don't want to make an effort, but we want to try softer rather than harder. Once I accepted that I wasn't sleeping and I invited wakefulness in bed, that's when I finally started to sleep well. The most poignant example I have of how this strategy works is a young woman who we'll call Jane. She was having 8 to 9 panic attacks a week. She came in one afternoon with the worst panic attack I've seen in 30 years of doing therapy. She was shaking, hyperventilating, crying, flush. She complained her heart was racing, that she could barely talk. And I asked her if she'd be willing to close her eyes, and with that, she did. And I said something like this: Noticing where you feel the anxiety in your body. Noticing how much space it takes up. Thinking about what color it would be if you could see it, and what texture it would be if you could feel it. If it increases, allowing it to increase. If it decreases, allowing it to decrease. But letting go of trying to change it. Even though it's uncomfortable, accepting it. Even though you don't like it, allowing it to be there. It was about that long, and she had a big smile on her face. And when I asked her to open her eyes, she started laughing and she said, I was trying so hard to fight it, but when you gave me the permission to feel it, it went away and I'm nearly calm now. She stopped having panic attacks after that. There are three kinds of people. There are people like Jane, who accept it and it works immediately. There are people that no matter what I say, they're going to keep fighting it and it's not going to be helpful. And then there's a third kind of person that gets it with the use of the right metaphor. The first metaphor I want to talk about is the Charlie horse. When I was about 6 years old, I was playing on the side of my house. And I got this gripping pain in my calf and I yelled out to my mom, Mom, help, my leg's dying. My mom came running out. She said, what's the matter? And I said, my leg. And she said, that's just a Charlie horse. People get them all the time. It hurts really bad, but it's nothing to worry about. And I immediately accepted it, and it no longer brought me anxiety and never did again in my life. So I ask you, when you feel anxiety in your body, whether it's a lump in your throat, a heaviness in your chest, or a pit in your stomach, does it hurt more or less than a Charlie horse? Of course, a Charlie horse hurts more. Does a Charlie horse bring you anxiety? Well, most of you are saying, no, a Charlie horse doesn't bring me anxiety. So next time you feel anxiety in your body, accepting it much in the same way that you accept a Charlie horse when you feel it. My next metaphor is, and my favorite metaphor, is the devil's snare.
Luckiest clown things here, really. Whoa! Stop moving, both of you. This is Devil's Snare. You have to relax. If you don't, it'll only kill you faster. Kill us faster? Oh, now I can relax. Hermione! Now what are you going to do? Just relax. Hermione, where are you? Do what I say. Trust me.
I'd like for you to think about where you feel anxiety in your body when you feel anxiety. And I am going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to say 3 words, and I want you to notice how you feel when I say these 3 words. Relax. Relaxing. Relaxed. Relaxed. Relaxing. Relax. Then you can open your eyes. Anyone ever tell you to relax and you want to flip them off? Or they tell you to calm down and you do the opposite, you get more angry. Those commands create tension. The harder I try to get out of the Chinese finger trap, the more it grips me, the more uncomfortable I am, the more stuck I am. When I let go of the struggle and accept that I'm stuck, I create room, and it's much more comfortable, and it's much easier for me to use my thumbs to get out of it. While standing, using the least amount of tension, where do you need no tension at all? Shoulders. I see people doing this. Yes, you're right. Hands, arms, shoulders, and face. We need the most in our legs, but thinking of letting go of half of the tension in your legs. If you are swaying, you've been successful. If you're not swaying, letting go of half of the tension in your legs. Least amount in your feet. And opening your eyes, and you may have a seat. Then I ask clients if they'd be willing to be seen with me in the hall, and most of them are. And I said, let's take a walk. And I want you to walk with the least amount of tension and walk at a normal pace. You see people doing mindful walks like this, but I'm more concerned about people applying this in their everyday life throughout the entire day. So walking with the least amount of tension, and still no tension in the arms, no tension in the face. And then when we get to the end of the hallway, I'll say, okay, in a moment, we are going to pretend that we are in a big hurry. And you're not going to run, but we're going to walk fast. Keep your face and your arms relaxed. And it's amazing how fast you can walk and continue to keep your face and arms and even very, very, very little tension even in your legs to walk this fast. Now, most of the time when people are walking this fast, they're walking like this. You can see their shoulders hunched up, they've got fists, their eyebrows are raised, or their brow is furrowed. And this becomes a wonderful metaphor for a very busy, hectic, stressful day. Do you want to go through your stressful day like this? Or would you rather go through your stressful day like this? Antagonistic sibling. How many of you are antagonistic siblings? How many of you are survivors? I'm a survivor. My brother used to draw pictures of witches and write Jennifer underneath it. And I would get so mad, I'd say, Mom, he's doing it again. Tell him to leave me alone. And what was her advice? Ignore him. Did I? No. If I had, he would have gone away. So anxiety is like an antagonistic sibling.
Another form of muscle relaxation is sponge energy. What I'd like for you to do is close your eyes and make sure that your back is up against the seat back of your chair. And noticing the surfaces beneath you and behind you. Visualizing, imagining that all of these surfaces are like sponges. But instead of absorbing water, they're absorbing tension from your body. Allowing the absorbing power of these spongy surfaces beneath you and behind you to absorb tension out of your body. Allowing gravity to help. Allowing your breathing to help. As you breathe in, loosening the tension, and as you breathe out, allowing it to drain into the surfaces beneath you. Noticing that each time you breathe out, you feel just a little bit more relaxed. Each time you breathe out, your muscles feel softer, looser, and more comfortable. After your next exhalation, opening your eyes. And we can put a question mark on our sticky notes. So when we see that question mark, if you suffer from fatigue, that question mark means, do I need all of this energy? Or what's the least amount of energy I can use while I'm studying or typing a term paper? Or if you suffer more from muscle tension, that question mark means, do I need all of this tension? Or what's the least amount of tension I can use to walk across campus?